Our next honoree is the perfect example of a modern, multitasking Renaissance man. Alan Hazard is a college and university professor, manager of cardiac rehabilitation unit, and clinical exercise physiologist. In addition, he's a runner and a track coach. He has set records at both Sweetwater High School, Southwestern College, and San Diego State. As with any well-rounded and generous person, Alan devotes much of his time to service with the well-known San Diego Historical Preservation Group, Save Our Heritage organization. Alan is a perfect example of the qualities the Hall of Fame Committee looks for in our inductees. I proudly present to you Mr. Alan Hazard.
I'd like to thank my friends and family for being here, and certainly an acknowledgement to my coach and Hall of Famer, Rich Gehring. Thank you for coming. Coach Gehring was a great recruiter. One day he showed up at my house in National City about a week before school was going to start and asked, "Are you coming to Southwestern College?" I said, "Yes, coach," and he left. He was really a heavy sales guy. During my time at Southwestern College, I learned a lot about nutrition. Coach Gehring introduced me to Hamburger Helper. At the Mount Sac Relays, we had Hamburger Helper spend the night in his RV. Apparently, travel funds were pretty limited back in those days. But at least we had some money to dine at fine restaurants such as Sir George's Smorgasbord. And who could forget their hush puppies? Life was a lot harder back then. In my first semester, I relied upon Louis Tejeda for a ride to school. Now, Louis wasn't a great student, so some days he never showed up, and I almost flunked out my first semester. Fortunately, Coach Gehring kept me eligible for track by having me take health education credit by exam over the winter break, which ironically is the very subject I taught at Southwestern College for 19 years. During my second semester, I took the bus a whole hour. It took me an hour to get from National City to the campus, and I noticed that students today drive much better cars than I ever have. During my sophomore year, I had a 1950s Rambler station wagon, which I purchased for $50. Had a push-button transmission, and it shook like hell. I went over 40 miles an hour up Old Highlands Road. My teammates called it a Tonkatory, but they never gave me any gas money. Now, I was used to being on good track teams when I was at Sweetwater High. My junior year, we were Metro champs in track and CIF champions in cross country. Coach Gehring was ecstatic my freshman year when we finished the dual meet season at 5 wins and 5 losses. In order to achieve that once, I had to run the 800, the mile, and 3 mile in one race in our beautiful sandy track. I ran 29 races during the 72 season, yet somehow Valley Coleman was our Ironman. I guess Valley ran 30. Coach Gehring went to Germany during my sophomore year in sabbatical. I later learned that sabbatical was German for drink beer. Our Apache sprinters were so slow that I pleaded with Coach Brunn to please let me run a 2:20 leg at Mount Sac. I ran a 23.7, nearly as fast as our best sprinters. Later at San Diego State, I was surrounded by world-class sprinters and never ran a 200 again. I graduated Southwestern with 8 school records, some of which will never be broken, such as the indoor mile and the indoor 2 mile. It's good to have obscure events. Nobody runs indoors anymore. I ran a 4:17 as a freshman, and I improved only a second to 4:16 my sophomore year. I was mostly sick and injury problems. I accepted my biggest scholarship offer to Boise State. And I didn't even like potatoes. Unfortunately, I didn't stay at Boise State very long. I left to come back and redshirt state, but that team, and I didn't stay, and I should have stayed, that team ran at the National Institute Cross Country Championships that year, and I could have ran against the great Steve Prefontaine, but should have stayed a few more months. At San Diego State, my coaches were Dick Hill, head coach. Distance coaches were former American great milers Kerry Wiesinger and Olympian Bob Wheeler, who passed away a few years ago. I was on some great teams at state. My senior year, we were 10-1 in dual meets, barely losing a top 20 ranked Berkeley. after the meet, I remember walking around Berkeley with some of my teammates in 75 and seeing these guys walking down the street with these cigars or joints as big as a cigar. I've never seen anything like that in National City or in Southwestern. My junior year, I ran a 407 mile. It gets better. It was OPC2A in the mile. My senior year, I ran a 404 mile at West Coast Relays. I later ran 3 years for Maccabi Union Track Club. I ran over 410 for the mile about 20 times. And I was lucky to run against some of the great milers of the 1970s, including Steve Scott, NC2A champions Mark Schilling, Paul Cummings, national champion Lynn Hilton, Olympian Duncan McDonald, and others. One of the fun memories I have for Maccabi Union is one time we were running a mile relay up at a meet in LA. Now we only had 3 guys, so I was going to run third. The coach said, just after you finish, just pull up to the side and stop. It was just a workout. My teammates, the first 2 runners in the team were both members of the U.S. 76 Olympic 4x400 meter team, Maxie Parks and Vinnie Brown. So as I waited for the handoff, I'm talking to this guy next to me like, I'm not a sprinter. I'm just a miler. I don't know what I'm doing here. She says, that's okay, I'm not a sprinter either. I said, well, what do you do? He said, pole vault. I said, pole vault? Wow. Well, what's your name? He said, Earl Bell. As in Earl Bell, the world record holder in the pole vault. Earl was pretty tall and pretty quick. He was pretty tall and quick. He kicked my butt. Okay. And later I had the opportunity to coach at San Diego State, coach some great athletes. Lynn Kanuka, bronze medalist at the 84 Olympics 3000. Graham Feld, who ran several Olympics, and I coached Gail Beavers his senior year at Sweetwater. I guess I came a long ways from placing 5th in the C1320 Metro Finals in Sweetwater in 1969. Southwestern has been a second home to me. I've been fortunate to have great coaches such as Rich Gary and Tom Brunn. Lucky to have a great chairman in health education such as Walt Justice, who played football at State during the same time I was there. Teaching all these years at Southwestern has been special to me, and being in the Hall of Fame is a dream come true. And thanks to everybody, and thanks to my mom.
Thank you, Alan. Alan has been an excellent instructor, athlete, and coach here in our community. We're very proud of him accepting this award. You've been a great guy, and always there to help, assist. Okay, I gotta talk louder. Thank you. Always there to help and assist with our students and our faculty and staff. And Alan always has an idea. Okay?
They're good ideas.
Give me the money back, Alan. Got other tricks I don't know about.